This is like going into Baskin Robbins and them saying, "Hey, sorry, we don't sell ice cream anymore." But if you're looking for YouTube content creators, we got over 31 flavors, and they do Queen. You remember if you were here earlier today and you were here when I did the reaction to Jonathan Young's Valhalla Calling, and I mentioned how Jonathan is just one of a whole plethora. I use plethora in a sentence of content creators on YouTube that are literally making it amazing to enjoy music now because anyone can do it, no matter where they are in the world. That was called foreshadowing. Because Halocene said, you know what, it's New Year's Eve. Let's call all of our friends. We just happen to be, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, maybe 12 amazing YouTube content creators. I think if we put all these channels together, you have well over 10 million subscribers. Tens of millions of views. In other words, you put all these amazing artists together, you could make yourself a record label. If it happens this year, that was more foreshadowing and I didn't mean to. Okay, so just from the ones that I know of, I saw Cole Rolland, who's the guitarist. Violet Orlandi's here. Jonathan's here. Lauren's here, which is funny because I think Lauren Babic is the only one of these artists I knew before I started doing YouTube reaction. Because I loved when she was with Crazy 88 and they did an album of covers, metal covers. And this was a couple years ago and a few years back. And I just remember falling in love with all these covers. And then as I'm doing YouTube and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, she's doing more and she's doing them on YouTube. And so I think Lauren was the only one of these artists I knew before YouTube. But since I got onto YouTube, there's so many more. And one of the best parts about all these different collaborators and YouTube creators is that they all collaborate with each other. They help spread the word about each other. Like, because of Halocene and Violet and Lauren and Cole and Jonathan, I found Caleb. I found Mori. There's a couple of them I don't know, but I will find out. Now that they're here, I'm like, who's this person? Like this young lady down here. I don't know who she is. So if you know who she is, you need to tell me in the comments because maybe I need to do a reaction to this one. I do know this siren here. She's been causing some waves on my channel lately through the comments because everyone's like, "Oh, we gotta do more of that." Yeah, I got it. But of course, with Addie and of course Bradley, the power couple of YouTube, putting together "We Will Rock You" by Queen. Now, if you're going to do a Queen song, you got to do it right. You can't halfway it because it's Queen. Anytime you do Queen, Elton John, Adele, if you don't do it 100%, it's going to backfire on you. Luckily for us, between Audra and Violet, Lauren, of course, Addie, and I'm pretty sure it's not going to be halfway. Come on. I don't think any of them have done anything halfway in their lives. Because of some of these amazing artists, I found other of these amazing artists. And because of these people, they're an example to all of us, even me. All I do is play hand percussion. I'm a dad, and I have 45 years of music experience just listening different cultural music and genres of music and just the history of how things have been. Studio work, production work, sound mixing, live events. I've done live performances. And I look at these young people and I'm like, man, music's in good hands. And not because of music labels. There's nothing wrong with them. Big fans. But you have all of these independent YouTube creators that are keeping that homegrown creative style alive, and I love it. And I'm so excited that for all the bad things that we hear about YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and social media and everything else, one of the best things about it is it allows us to enjoy the created art that so many of these people you see on the screen get to share with all of us. A lot of the people you see on the screen don't live in the country you live in. If it wouldn't be for YouTube, you would have never heard of them. You would have never crossed paths with them. Miss Babic is from Canada. Violet's from Sao Paulo, Brazil. What are the odds you would have come across Violet in a travels to Sao Paulo, Brazil, if she didn't have YouTube and she was singing in local venues and you just run across her? You wouldn't have, it would never would have happened. But thanks to YouTube and thanks to all of this, we get to enjoy it. And I get to share with all of you. If you already know about all these different artists, good. You're probably one of the reasons why I'm here. But if you're in my community and you haven't heard of any of these artists, this is your opportunity to have your eyes opened to what's going on right now. YouTube is the breeding ground, the developmental area for the artists of the future. There's a lot of bands, one in particular, that just got off of an amazing, huge US tour. That without YouTube and a couple of their videos going viral, would their fan base have exploded as fast as it did for them to come all the way from the Ukraine to headline a significant tour in the US? That's the power of the modern music scene on YouTube, and I'm excited for it. Speaking of tours, I happen to know that the channel this is on, Halocene, and this lady right up here in the top corner, right here, Lauren Babic, who, by the way, is my girlfriend's favorite artist, period, at least from Canada. I think Chelsea says that it's Lauren and well, yeah, she has her favorites, but of all the YouTube videos that I do, her covers just blow her away, and that's great. My favorite on this list, I have to say it's kind of a tie between Violet and Lauren, because I've known Lauren longer and she has a particular style that I love. But then there's something that Violet does that nobody else can touch, and it's that low end, just rich power alto that just, it's unique. But I would say it was Jonathan, but then I'm just rambling because, you know, bromance, man. That's what I'm saying. So this is Queen, We Will Rock You. I'm going to stop rambling. Let's go. I've talked for 8 minutes about why we should watch this. Maybe we should go ahead and do it. Let's go.
Bunny, you're a boy, make a big noise, playing in the street, gonna be a big man someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, kicking your kid all over the place, singing, we will rock you. We will rock you. Bunny, you're a young man, hard man, shouting in the street, gonna take on the world someday. You got blood on your face, you big disgrace, waving your banner all over the place. We will rock you. Sing it! We will rock you. Yeah, yeah. Buddy, you're an old man, poor man, bleeding with your eyes, gonna get you some peace someday. You got mud on your face, you big disgrace, somebody better put you back into your place.
Of course Jonathan messed that up. You notice they didn't have Cole singing. But if you need a soundtrack to your life, That's your guy right there. All right, I never do a video unless it's more than, 15 minutes long because I like to talk. And because this song is over, I get 4.5 minutes to blah, 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 blah. Okay. We've seen so many of these different singers on this video. And one of my favorite things is Halocene has gotten together. Now, they're from San Francisco area. Bradley and Addie and this tattooed drumming freak right here. They got together and said, you know what, let's invite all our friends. Have you noticed that all of their friends bring something different to the table? You've got metal growlers. You've got, I don't know who she is, but her harmonizing. Lolia's harmonizing? Wow. Kind of reminds you of, wow. There's a particular artist that actually she looks like right here. And her style of pull through on that harmonize was like, wait a minute. Wow. That's legit seriously heavy. Violet, who's dark and brooding, power alto. You've got your diva vocalist. You've got, look, Audra, I have said many times, she's the singer for First to 11 on a lot of their work. She is one of the most pure vocals you're ever going to hear. When you're talking about Addie and her metal goddess, you're talking about this diva right here, this power singer right here, this woman right here who does enough metal but yet could slip into a jazz blues ballad and blow your mind. Lauren, one of the most powerful singers I've heard of since Pat Benatar and Joan Jett, but yet even possibly more aggressive. That's saying something. But I've also said that Audra is one of the most pure vocals. In other words, of all these people you see right here, she's the one that you could literally take her and say, hey, we have an opening for the lead vocalist in a Broadway musical. Could you do it? Done. She could, because it's such a pure voice. Pure voice. You put her in front of a theatrical setting, she could be one of those voices. Some people can't do it. Some people have a little bit more attitude, a little bit more inflection in their voice, a little bit more styling. She is a pure vocalist, which is one of the things I've always said. I don't know a lot about Caleb. I need to check him out. His little tag he did there was like, whoa, buddy. But Halocene is a mainstay on my channel. Of course, Violet has her own playlist along with Leah Maracchioli. Lauren's very close to being, of course, that's not really fair for Lauren because I've been a fan of hers since way before YouTube because of her amazing metal covers with Crazy 88 and other stuff. So just going through this video, you see all these amazing creators. And remember, a lot of them started, like this young lady right here, started with just a guitar at 15 years old in her bedroom in Brazil, just playing for a camera phone and over 1 million subscribers. So what I'm trying to tell you right now before I stop this video for rambling way too long is everybody out there, I don't care how old you are. I don't care where you come from. I don't care what your situation is. Put yourself out there. If you go back and you watch some of the first videos that Violet did, there was no theatrical lighting. There was no CGI double horns, even though I think hers are actually real. And it was just her and a guitar. And her room was all echoey. But she put her art out there. And that's where it starts. I have 3 daughters, ranging from ages of 12 all the way up to 22 years old. All the people you see on the screen are examples to my kids and to me that anything is possible nowadays. You just have to try. Commit, put forth the effort. If I've seen interviews with almost all of these people, and they all say one thing exactly the same. When it comes to doing what they do, how much of it revolves around talent versus the commitment to do the work? And they'll tell you it's the work and the passion to keep trying more than the talent, because the talent can build. Technically, if I stopped talking and rambling about these people all day long and I started doing more work on my vocal prowess, I could sing too. Or I could go pick up these drums and start doing drum accompaniments to songs again, which is what I should do. The problem is, all these people do two things, especially to me. Number one, they inspire you for greatness. They inspire you to get up and do something yourself. The other thing is I'm 47 years old and I'm like, man, what have I done with my life? Right?